Today, we will be going over Porsche's untold come-up story and their catastrophic collaboration with one of the most evil human beings of all time, Adolf Hitler. Our journey begins with Ferdinand Porsche, the founder and visionary for the company. Ferdinand Porsche was a brilliant engineer born in Austria on September 3, 1875. From a young age, he exhibited a keen interest in mechanics and engineering, constantly tinkering with machines and gaining hands-on experience. His father, Anton Porsche, a skilled tinsmith, instilled in him the value of hard work and craftsmanship that would stay with him for his entire life. As Ferdinand grew older, his talents became more evident and he pursued his passion for engineering with unwavering determination. After completing his formal education, he joined various engineering firms and quickly earned a reputation for his innovative ideas and problem-solving skills. In 1906, his brilliance caught the attention of the renowned car manufacturer Austro-Daimler, giving him the opportunity to become the technical director. During his time at Austro-Daimler, Porsche made significant contributions to the development of luxury automobiles, gaining recognition and wealth along the way. In 1923, Ferdinand Porsche founded his own engineering consulting firm where he continued to work on a wide range of projects from race cars to aircraft engines. Even at the age of 75, Ferdinand was actively involved in designing and overseeing projects, which is just a testament to his enduring passion for the automotive industry. The 1930s brought a fateful collaboration that would shape Porsche's legacy and the future of the automotive world. Enter Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany. Hitler had a vision of a people's car that ordinary citizens could afford and saw Ferdinand Porsche's expertise as the key to realizing his dream. In 1934, Hitler personally met with Ferdinand Porsche and tasked him with designing the people's car. Porsche's engineering brilliance impressed Hitler, who saw him as a valuable asset to his vision for Germany. Fascinated by Porsche's design prowess, Hitler pushed forward with the project, leading to the creation of the legendary Volkswagen Beetle as we know it today. As World War II approached, Porsche's engineering genius attracted the attention of the Nazi regime, and he became involved in various military projects. He designed military vehicles like the fearsome Tiger I tank and the reliable Kübelwagen, showcasing his versatility in both civilian and military domains. What would you have done if you were in Ferdinand's position? While Ferdinand Porsche collaborated with Hitler's regime, historical records don't provide conclusive evidence of his personal beliefs or direct political affiliations. It is essential to recognize that Porsche's work during this period was mainly driven by his engineering passion and the opportunities presented to him, rather than explicit support for the Nazi regime. But what if I told you there was a different side to the story that said otherwise? If Ferdinand wasn't motivated by ideology, maybe he was motivated by money and power, like all humans are, and used the current Nazi regime's policy to his advantage. Historians often fail to mention that Ferdinand had a Jewish co-founder who was ironically named Adolf Rosenberger, and he could not have been more different from Germany's new chancellor. Despite the shared first name, the German Jew had been a race car driver for Mercedes in his early life, Ferdinand helping design some of his cars. Then, Rosenberger's racing career ended abruptly in 1926 after a serious accident at the Grand Prix in Berlin that left 3 dead and himself severely injured. But this didn't stop Rosenberger from pursuing the dream of financial freedom. With the money he had already accumulated in his short-lived racing career, Rosenberger decided to start investing into real estate. Then, later on, he partnered with Ferdinand Porsche to finance Porsche's early race car designs and turn them into usable prototypes. In exchange for this, Rosenberger was given a percentage of the company. As we already know, in 1934, Ferdinand Porsche signed a contract with the Nazi regime to develop the Volkswagen. In the meantime, Porsche and his son-in-law Anton Porsche, who also had a percentage in the company, decided they would take advantage of the current political ideology and tighten up the familial grip on the car design office in Stuttgart. On September 5, 1935, 10 days before the Nuremberg race laws were enacted, the outcast of the company, Rosenberger, was arrested by the Gestapo in his hometown near Stuttgart. charged with race defilement and put into remand prison in Karlsruhe. Essentially, he was guilty of being in a romantic relationship with a Gentile or non-Jewish woman. Given his prominence as a Jewish entrepreneur and a former race car driver, Rosenberger had been previously warned that he was a target of the Gestapo. 5 weeks before his arrest, on July 30th of 1935, Rosenberger had transferred his 10% stake in the car design firm to Porsche's 25-year-old son, Ferry, who had been working with his dad for 5 years now. The once struggling firm had finally become profitable through Porsche's Volkswagen contract and a race car design that he and Rosenberger had developed. Company profits that year neared 170,000 Reichsmarks, or $1.5 million today. So, Ferdinand Porsche and Anton Piesch started to buy out the two shareholders who were not part of the family, Rosenberger and Hans von Vader-Malberg. An asset was considered Aryanized in the Third Reich when the Jewish element of ownership had been removed. Aryanization could involve paying less than the actual value for firms, houses, land, jewelry, or just about any asset owned by a Jew. As had been the case with Rosenberger, it could extend to the outright theft of possessions. Because of Nazi Germany's penchant for formal legal procedure, Aryanization often had the veneer of a normal business transaction, but eventually that nicety was discarded. In fact, the duo bought out Rosenberger for the exact same nominal amount he had paid for in his founding stake at Porsche in 1930, just 3,000 Reichsmarks or $25,000 today. Despite all that Rosenberger had done for the company, the price severely undervalued his shares in Porsche. Rosenberger once stated, "It was held against me that a pennant or the like as a Jew-free company would not be given as long as I was a shareholder. I do not accuse Mr. Porsche or Mr. Piesch, at any rate, of personal anti-Semitism." Rosenberger later contended, "But they used my membership as a Jew to get rid of me cheaply." Porsche and Piesch would deny these allegations, and still, regardless of any motive, the duo's acquisition of Rosenberger's Porsche stake was an Aryanization, plain as day. On September 23rd of 1935, after almost 3 weeks in the Gestapo prison, Rosenberger was transferred to Kislau, a concentration camp south of Heidelberg. After 4 days of beatings, he was suddenly let go. Hans von Vader-Malberg, Rosenberger's successor at Porsche, had intervened with the Gestapo in Karlsruhe, successfully lobbying for his release. But Rosenberger still had to pay the Gestapo 53 Reichsmarks, or $455, for his time in protective custody. Despite later claims to the contrary, Ferdinand Porsche and Anton Piesch did nothing to secure their co-founder's freedom. Via his lawyers, Rosenberger begged Ferdinand Porsche to save his life, but he was too busy living his best life at the Spanish Grand Prix outside Bilbao. Rosenberger, rightfully scared for his life, left Germany a month later and moved to Paris in November of 1935. After he had departed his position with Porsche as the commercial director, he had began working on a contractual basis for the design firm. Even after his imprisonment, Rosenberger remained a foreign representative for the company, licensing Porsche patents in France, England, and America, for a return of 30% of sales in the respective regions until 1940, or so he thought. To Rosenberger's surprise, 3 years later, he received a letter at his Paris apartment from Hans von Vader-Malberg. The man who had freed him from a concentration camp was now informing him that Porsche was no longer able to maintain its patent licensing contract with him. With the letter being dated for June 2nd, 1 week after Hitler had laid the foundation stone for the Volkswagen factory, it was obvious to Rosenberger that all his former colleagues, even his successor Hans, were cutting off all professional and personal ties with him. On July 23rd of 1938, Rosenberger wrote to Anton Piesch, who was also the company's legal counsel, suggesting 2 ways to part amicably. Either he would receive $12,000 or about $240,000 in today's money to start over in the United States, or he would be given a transfer of Porsche's American patent license. Adding insult to Aryanization, Anton Piesch coldly rejected the proposal, stating, "My company does not recognize your claims under any circumstances. and rejects them for a lack of legal basis. That same month, the Gestapo coincidentally began the process of revoking Rosenberger's German citizenship. It was time for him to leave Europe. He immigrated to America in 1940 and was living under the name Alan Robert in Los Angeles. A few years after World War II had ended, in 1948, the Jewish immigrant wanted restitution to be reinstated as a shareholder in the firm he had co-founded, with the same stake Ferdinand Porsche and Anton Piëch had acquired from him in their 1935 Aryanization. Simultaneously, Ferdinand Porsche's legacy continued with his son Ferry Porsche taking the reins of the family business. In 1948, the Porsche 356 made its debut, marking the birth of the Porsche brand as we know it today. But what isn't often mentioned is that the man behind the iconic 911 design volunteered for the SS in 1937 and later became an officer. In Ferry's defense, whether or not he had a choice in contributing to Hitler's army will never be known, but what is awfully suspicious is the fact that Ferry would end up denying that he ever served in the SS until the day he died. With the Porsche family reaping the benefits of the post-war economic boom, Rosenberger still felt that he was wronged and began to seek justice. As the case went to court in late September of 1950, a lawyer for Porsche and Piëch proposed a settlement to Rosenberger's lawyer, 50,000 Deutschmarks or $144,000, plus a car. Rosenberger was offered a choice between a luxury Volkswagen Beetle and a Porsche 356, the first sports car under the family name. Rosenberger was still in Los Angeles caring for his wife, who was ill at the time, so his lawyer accepted this settlement without consulting him. Instead, he informed Rosenberger by letter after the matter was concluded. Rosenberger ended up picking the Volkswagen Beetle. In December of 1967, Rosenberger died as Alan Robert in Los Angeles from a heart attack. The persecuted co-founder of Porsche died when he was only 67. After his settlement with Porsche and the deaths of Ferdinand and Anton in the early 1950s, Rosenberger traveled back to Stuttgart and met with Ferry, now the CEO of the Porsche company. Rosenberger offered Ferry patents and hoped to represent Porsche in California. After everything that had transpired, Rosenberger still wanted to be part of the company that he had helped establish. Ferry unsurprisingly responded in a non-committal way, and nothing came of it. The Porsche story, intertwined with the complexities of history and engineering brilliance, continues to captivate minds and inspire generations to this day. But the more interesting story seems to be how the family managed to accumulate almost unlimited power under the rule of one of the most notoriously evil leaders of all time. This calls into question the morals of the family and what their intentions were in the first place. To me, it seems like they played the power game perfectly, even emulating some of the 48 laws of power to perfection, such as Law 7, getting others to work for you and taking the credit. Law 10, the law of infection, avoiding the unhappy and the unlucky. And finally, Law 38, think as you like, but behave like others. Nevertheless, it's impossible to fully blame Ferdinand and his son for their actions and the betrayal of Rosenberger, since most people put in the same situation would likely have done the same or worse with the illustrious reward of generational wealth and influence dangling over their heads. In the present day, we now find ourselves witnessing the continued success and enduring legacy of the Porsche family. Over the years, Porsche has evolved into a global icon offering luxury sports cars and automotive excellence. The brand's commitment to innovation, performance, and engineering prowess remains unwavering, keeping the spirit of Ferdinand and Ferry Porsche alive in every vehicle they produce. Since the introduction of the Porsche 356 in 1948, the company has created numerous iconic models that have become synonymous with high-performing sports cars. The Porsche 911 was introduced in 1964 and continues to be the heart and soul of the brand. Beyond the 911, Porsche has expanded its lineup to include a wide range of vehicles including the Cayman, Boxster, Macan, Cayenne, and Panamera. The addition of the Porsche Taycan, the brand's first all-electric car, has further showcased Porsche's commitment to the future of automobiles. Financially, the Porsche family has seen remarkable success, and the company's brand value and market presence have grown significantly over the years. As of 2023, Porsche remains a profitable and influential player in the global automotive industry. As for the Porsche family itself, they continue to be actively involved in the company's operation. The family's management and stewardship have contributed to the brand's enduring success and its position as a top luxury car manufacturer. In conclusion, the Porsche family's journey from its humble beginnings, with Ferdinand Porsche being inspired by his father's hard work and dedication, to its present-day success, has been nothing short of extraordinary. Through innovation, engineering brilliance, and a commitment to excellence, the Porsche brand has solidified its place in automotive history. As they continue to drive into the future, the Porsche family's legacy will remain an inspiration for generations to come. Even with a little bit of dirt tarnishing their history, it's easy to forget when their cars look and sound like this. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more El Tamim.